Hi Kaylin, it's Friday again. I think it's the 30th of March, but I could be wrong. It's been a long day, let's just say that. We finished school today, so I'm really excited for the holidays, and my brain's kind of in another place, but anyway. So this week we're doing our life in letters, which I'm really excited about, and I had a lot of fun coming up with mine. I even asked my friends at school to help me, so that might explain why some of them are a little bit weird. Just warning you, but okay. So let's start with A. A is for A Very Potter Musical, and I don't know if you've seen it, Kaylin. I can't remember whether you said you had, but if you haven't seen it, this goes for you, anyone watching too. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it, because especially if you like the Warblers, because the lead Warbler, played by Darren Criss, is playing Harry freaking Potter, and it's totally awesome, so you need to go and watch that. B is for Becky, which is the name of my sister, and I have a picture of me and my sister when we were little. I don't know how well you can see that, but the really fat one eating a shoe is me, and the really cute one with a bob is my sister. Don't ask me why I was eating a shoe. To this day I don't know why, but this is one of my favourite pictures. Oh, it's so cute. It makes me so happy. C, if you hadn't guessed, is for Chameleon Circuit. I have a signed picture of me with them over there. It's being guarded by my Daleks and my adipose because I'm a massive Doctor Who geek. But I love the music of Chameleon Circuit, I really do, hence the medley, and yeah. Now, D, surprisingly, is for Doctor Who. I love the TV series. I still remember when they brought it back on TV, my parents were like, "Oh, Doctor Who, we used to watch that when we were younger." And me and my sister were thinking, "What is this? It sounds really weird." And then we watched it and we fell in love. Christopher Eccleston was a great person to bring back the series, I think. A lot of people talk about David Tennant as a really good Doctor, but I really like Christopher Eccleston. I like all three of them, but I think he did a really good job bringing the series back to mainstream television, and I think a lot of people forget that. But yeah. E was originally going to be for England, because obviously that's where I live, but I've changed it to Ed Gould, because I don't know whether you watched Ed's World or knew, but he passed away last weekend, and when I found out on Wednesday night, I sat there crying watching Ed's World videos for a good half hour or so, maybe even more, I don't know, I lost track of time. But Ed's World was such a good series, and I'm really sad it's going to be over, and I'm really sad that such an amazing person had to lose their life. But anyway, that was just a little tribute for him, because he was awesome. Anyway. F is for flute, because I play the flute. I have been playing the flute for about 9 years or so now, 8 or 9 years. I'm about grade 7 standard. G is for Grease, as in the musical Grease, because that was the first musical I ever did at secondary school, where I met some of the most amazing people in my life, including my first boyfriend, but I'm not going into that story now. But yeah, Grease was just amazing. H is for the Hunger Games. I don't know if you've read them or seen the film, but if you haven't, do both, because they're both really good. Obviously the book's better than the film, because the book's always better than the film, but I really enjoyed the film. Some people said they didn't, but I thought it was really good. I is for International DFTBA. What else was I going to put? J is for jokes, because I couldn't come up with anything for J. So I'm going to tell you my favourite joke, which is actually quite ironic, because it's a ginger joke and I'm ginger. So, what's the difference between ginger and a brick? Bricks get laid. Anyway, K is for Katamari Damacy. If any of you have played this game, right, please comment and tell me, because it's one of my favourite video games, and if I try and explain it to you who haven't played it, then I'll sound like a nutter. So just go and look it up, because it's Japanese and it's insane and it's so awesome, it's so much fun. It's a really good way to waste time. L is for Lovely Complex. I don't know if any of you remember my old channel art before the one I have now on my main channel. It had the picture of the girl with the ginger hair up in a bun wearing like a t-shirt that had popcorn on it. Well, she's the main character from my favourite anime called Lovely Complex. And she's like the anime version of me. So that's my favourite anime. Not purely for that reason. It's hilarious, it's amazing. If you love anime, go and watch it. It's so good. M is for music, of course, because music is my passion. I want to be a musician. I couldn't imagine life without music. It's just It's amazing, it really is. N is for Nerdfighteria, because let's be honest, where would most of us be without it? It's just amazing. Thank you, John and Hank. Oh, and YouTube. Oh, anyway. O is for obsessions, because I couldn't come up with anything for O, and one of my friends suggested this because she thinks that I get obsessed with things easily, which probably is true. If any of you follow me on Tumblr, then you probably know what my obsessions are, but I'm not going to go into that now. YouTube is one of them, but reading is another, music is another, but I think everyone has little obsessions, things that they just can't get enough of all the time. So yeah. P is for piano, because I've been playing the piano for about 11 years now. I think I started when I was about 5. I just did my grade 7. I haven't got my results yet, but I promise you I'll tell you what I got as soon as I find out. Regardless of whether it's good or bad news, but fingers crossed it'll be good news. Q is for the Queen, because I'm British and I couldn't think of anything for Q, but also then I thought Queen as in the band as well, because the band are amazing as well, so 2 Queens. R is for Roger. This is Roger. He's a rucksack, border collie rucksack, and I named him Roger because I asked my friend what a good name for it would be and she just went Roger, so he's called Roger. I couldn't think of anything for R. S is for songwriting and singing, because I love it and I do it a lot in my free time, in case you hadn't noticed. T is for Topaz, which is the name of my cat, who I love, but she is the most irritating cat on the planet because she's hungry all the time and she's so fat that we have to feed her diet cat food. And I would show you her, but I've no idea where she is, and if I went and found her now, then it would just be you watching a blank screen for like 2 minutes, so we'll leave it at that. U is for umbrella. I couldn't come up with anything for U either, and I thought umbrella because it rains all the time in England, so we have a lot of practical use for umbrellas. Even though you like the rain, Kaylin, it becomes annoying when it happens all the time here, and it always still happens when I straighten my hair. Every time I straighten my hair it rains. It's like a curse. Oh. V is for video games. I love video games. It's another one of my obsessions. For example, Katamari Damacy, as I said, for K. Ratchet & Clank, Spyro, Pokemon. I still have all my Pokemon cards from the original series. I'm such a nerd, but it's so good. W is for West Side Story, another musical I did at school, and probably my last at the school I'm at now, because I think I'm going to leave next year. And it was just such an emotional show, and it's got great music anyway, and I love it. Oh, West Side Story. X is for xylophone, purely because I could not think of anything else, and that was the first thing that came into my head. Y is for YouTube, because where would we be without YouTube? I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for YouTube, and Tumblr, but I wouldn't know any of you people watching if it wasn't for YouTube. YouTube is just such an amazing thing. It's just, oh. And Z is for just, look, I literally just wrote lots of Zs because I'm tired all the time, and that's what they use in cartoons. And I'm quite tired now, but that's all I could think of for Z. So I guess all that's left to say is thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to our month-aversary next week. I can't believe it's been a month already. I've loved every second of it, Kaylin. It's honestly been the best month of my life. So thank you for everyone watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!